Welcome to the Crucible Conversation Podcast. I'm your host, Joshua Stonecker. On this episode, we're discussing meditation for men. 5 easy steps to create a routine any dude can stick with. Thank you for joining. Let's jump right into the topic. Now, I've worked with hundreds of men who are just starting their spiritual journey, and most, if not all of y'all, ask me about meditating. Why I do it, how to do it, when to do it, how often, how long, am I doing it right, etc., etc. Which, here's the thing, I was there too. I asked my gurus, I asked my spirit guides, I asked my coaches, same stuff. Feel like I'm just sitting here doing a whole bunch of nothing. Now, I've also been meditating trying to do it for about 8 years. And throughout that 8 years, I also had to come to the realization that I had ADD. I was a workaholic. I didn't want to come down, if you will, especially off of Adderall. It's like, no, I was go, go, go. I need more energy. Chugging Red Bulls, popping Adderall, smoking weed to come down. You know, being a VP of sales during this time, especially early on, I was a VP of sales, wasn't a great husband, probably not a good father either, made a bunch of money, traveled a whole bunch. So I thought meditation could help kind of balance me out. Well, I could say to this point, I'm about 8 years into meditating, and I'm just now finally finding my groove. And the 5 easy steps that I've created, that I'm going to share with you today, is all about how I learned along the way. And they're super simple. Let's not over-engineer this type of thing. So let's get on with it. Now, the power and purpose of meditation for me, the what and how I use meditation, earlier on, it was to just calm me down. Now, it's basically a way for me to reset, regroup, and get back into balance. That's it for me. Super simple. And no, I've never meditated for more than 45 minutes. I see these things, the gurus and whomever else, sitting in a dark room, meditating for hours. You do you. But for me, that wasn't the thing. So let's just hop right into it. 5 easy steps to create a routine any dude could stick with. Number 1, and this is the most important. If you've been following me at all, you'll realize that intention is something that I speak about just about almost in every single video, every single post, all of my one-on-ones I have with clients. It all comes back to intention. And if you only take one thing from this podcast, it's number 1, set an intention. How you do anything is how you do everything. Without intention, you're just fucking around. So, number 1, set an intention. What's your why? Figure that out before you sit your ass down. If you're saying, I'm just going to meditate to meditate, okay. Just like you're at your job, most of the men I work with are high performers. They have good titles. They are successful. They know what it's like to climb the ladder. I don't work with many that aren't doing well. And every single one of them would agree that when I ask them questions around, okay, well, how do you go about doing anything in your professional life? How do you go about scheduling a one-on-one? How do you go about doing financial reports? How do you go about when you're anything at work? And the majority, if not all of them, say, well, yeah, I have goals, I have objectives, so then why would it be any different when it comes to some sort of spiritual practice? How you do anything is how you're going to do everything. If you're going to half-ass everything, well, okay. But if you actually have purpose, why, intention behind your actions, then we can always go back to those actions and say, did we fall short? How's it going? Fill in the blank. Number 1, set an intention. One of the intentions that I have every single morning is just focus on me, clear anything that I might have absorbed or, things happen in the morning, right? I have kids, getting them to school, yada, yada. But in the morning, I always set an intention. not only an intention for me sitting down and what I'm trying to do when it comes to clearing my energy, balancing, and getting in better alignment with whomever, whatever, for that day. I like to do a little bit of breath work. I sit down and that's really it. I try to do it in the afternoon as well if I need kind of a rebalance. And then in the evening, there's days where I'll go 3, 4 days without meditating. And there's days where I'll meditate 4 times in a day for 2 weeks straight. It's not a thing that I have to do. It's a thing that I want to do. And it's a tool that I have and a resource that I use to help me rebalance, help me kind of shake off whatever it is I need to shake off. But that's the intention I set for it. Set an intention before you sit your ass down. Number 2, now this one's going to be a bit different. And every single client I work with who is starting on their journey, I give them this advice: either silence or music. Pick one when it comes to how you're meditating first. And I always encourage music first. Now, I also have one of those in harmony frequency meditation cushions. This is not a plug for them, but I have one of those. It vibrates. You do it to frequency stuff. It's a thing. However, I encourage every one of my clients to start with music, then go into silence. An infinite mindset is the goal here. And what I mean by that is you are wanting to start slow to move fast. So knowing that for me, meditation was going to be a thing that I was probably going to do for the rest of my life. I'm not going to beat myself up for it earlier on in my journey because this is a long fucking game. That's where my infinite mindset comes into play here. I'm not thinking of right now. I'm thinking of, well, if I suck at it this time, if I do it again, I'm going to suck just a little bit less. And then if I do it again, I'm going to suck a little bit less after that. And I keep going and going and going. I'm where I'm at now. And the reason I always choose music is because it's real easy to sit there and listen to your favorite song. It's really easy for you to sit there when you set an intentional song for how you're wanting to feel. And if you can't think of a song, what I always start with, what was your favorite song when you were 14? What about 16? Start there. Set an intention. Start with music. Now, one thing you're going to want to ask yourself is, how does my intention and my music match up? Do you really need to listen to Rage Against the Machine if you're wanting to kind of balance out a few things? Or is that how you balance out? What about The Blueprint from Jay-Z? What about some Bohemian Rhapsody? Tool, Korn, Limp Bizkit? What about some Stairway? What are those going to do to you? How are those going to start your day, continue your day, end your day, whatever the day is? What's the vibe you're looking for? These are questions you should ask yourself with that intention. Now, so we got our intention, we got our music or silence, it's fine. What I always encourage after that, step number 3, isolation, mask over your eyes, and headphones. This seems like a no-brainer, but find a place only for you. Headphones and mask are intentional. The least amount of senses you bring in this practice, the easier it is for you to hear the message. And that message is for you and for you alone. I like the headphones. I like the darkness. I like the eye mask. What I always encourage is don't have a fan or anything like that on you because it kind of messes with your senses a little bit. Especially whenever you're blinded, you're deaf, essentially, and you're sitting there. It helps if you know that the house is empty, or it helps to lock the door. Just, your fight, flight, freeze instincts kind of kick in whenever so pro tip. Number 1, intention. Number 2, choose silence or meditation, or silence or music. Number 3, isolation, mask, and headphones. And that leads us to number 4. Set a timer or set a time commitment. There needs to be an intentional beginning and an end. That is just going to allow your ego, your subconscious, just to relax and say, this is when it starts, this is when it ends. Don't just wing it. And here's the thing. If it's hard to know when I'm done, that's going to lead me to number 5. Number 5 is set an intention on how you want to feel at the end. You don't need to set a timer if you have an end goal when it comes to your feelings, how your body wants us to feel, your mind wants to feel, your emotions want to feel, all of it together. Meditation is not just a physical thing. It's not just a mental thing, and it's not just an emotional thing. It could be one of those things or all of those things. Also, is it just a spiritual thing? It's all the things. But set an intention on how you want to feel at the end. What are you trying to accomplish? Don't just meditate to meditate. That doesn't actually work. High performers get surgical about your time and your energy. Meditation isn't a job or a thing you do. It's a tool you can use to heal yourself. What are you healing? Who do you want to be? Like I said earlier, I've been meditating for about 8 years, and only now do I think I'm actually doing it with intention. I don't just sit down on the thing just to do the thing. And many times, when I don't want to meditate, it's exactly when I need to meditate. I'm like, I don't have enough time. Oh, there's time. In fact, if you don't think you have enough time, maybe that's a sign that says you need to fucking meditate a little bit more. I'm too busy to meditate. I can't. I use it to change my state of being. I use it to kick myself in the ass. And ultimately, to recenter myself from some type of imbalance or setback. How I look at it, meditation is exactly what you want it to be. Let me rephrase that. Meditation is exactly what you want it to be once intention is applied to it. As I get older, the more I realize that random shit is always going to happen to us, but I can't control that. What I can control is how quickly I bounce back from that random shit. And that's how I measure my own internal growth and development. I'm not going to have a bad day. I might have a rough hour or two, but I'm not going to have a bad day. I'm definitely not going to let that shit fester and ruin my whole day. I'm too far past that. I'm Joshua Stoniker, a men's coach, and I help men just like me get unstuck. Stop going at it alone and stop guessing. Fellas, asking for help isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually strength. Thank you for listening to this podcast. Meditation for Men, 5 easy steps to create a routine any dude can stick with. Let me quickly recap. Set an intention. Don't just sit your ass down and wing it like you do all the other shit. How you do anything is how you will fucking do everything. The second step, choose either silence or music. I encourage starting with music, then moving on to silence. You want to start slow to move fast. Number 3, isolation, mask, headphones. Pretty simple. The least amount of senses you bring into the practice, the easier it is for you to hear, well, the message. Number 4, set a timer or set a time commitment. Your ego and your subconscious need that. If you don't give your ego a thing to do while meditating, that's the monkey mind shit. Actually, let me give a pro tip here now that I'm doing this. While you're setting your attention, talk to your ego. Literally just say, hey, ego, I'm going to sit down here for about 10 to 12 minutes. What I want you to do is manage and organize all of the thoughts that are come racing into my mind while I'm sitting doing this. So while I'm doing that, I need you to do this. And what this is for ego is put all of those thoughts, all of those ideas, let's put them into a folder. And once I'm done, you and I can go and open up that folder and discuss any of those ideas at that point. But while I'm doing this, I need you to protect me and do this other stuff. That's some next level shit, I promise you. You can do that. That's when your monkey mind shit, that's when that goes away. You give your ego something to do. It literally is like a little kid. You're like, okay, it's like 7 years old. Number 4, set a timer and set a commitment. Number 5, set an intention on how you want to feel at the end. Intentional change or an intentional life. I'm Joshua Stoniker. This is Crucible Conversations. I'll see you next time.